Hi, this is for integrated marketing, chapters 8 and 9. And the first question is talking about the 5 factors of divergence, which are originality, flexibility, elaboration, synthesis, and artistic value. Um, and I think the one ad I thought of the most was the new Google Pixel, um, where they do the artistic value. They kind of do origami. Um, it's it turns into a paper plane. It's flying around in the sky with the birds, and then goes into the water. But it's all made of paper, and I think that that's a really good use of the artistic value um, divergence. And for the second question, it talks about the role of an advertising slogan in ads, and I think that in, having an effective slogan is really important because it's kind of your brand. You know, people associate your slogan with your brand, and if you get a good slogan, there's so many that it could be said so many times and all over the place that your brand just gets mentioned and the word gets more. A few good ones are like Subway Eat Fresh. Everybody's heard that, right? And Eat Fresh, that's a positive light towards your food. And then one of my favorites is Little Caesars Hot and Ready. It's hot and it's ready. I mean, it's perfect. And then a bad one that I found was Pepsi's Live for Now. And I mean, I've never even heard that, and I'm sure that there's a ton of people that have never heard that. So clearly, it's not an effective slogan because it's not a common thing, and I just feel like it's bland and it doesn't really fit with their product. Live for Now, and it's a soda. I don't know. The third question is unusual or creative tactics in ads, and I think some pros to this are to differentiate yourself from the other ads, and you get creative, and people will remember. But not like a con could maybe be, you know, if it's too outlandish, people may get confused and forget what the product even is. Like an example could be like the Old Spice commercial where they just got a little weird, and you kind of just forget what the product even is, and you're just watching something weird. It's memorable, but then you're like, what even is the product? What's going on? Now we're moving into chapter 10. The first question is the emotion-based advertising appeal, and I think that this can be super effective because I feel like people remember these more because it makes them feel something. And I think a good example of this is the Dove commercial, where they promote self-esteem. The second question is user-generated content and advertising. And I think, I mean, this can be super effective because people trust people more than they trust brands. So if they see, you know, another person just like them enjoying this brand, I mean, they can put themselves in that person's shoes way easier. And I think a really good example of this is like the GoPro commercials where they're doing extreme sports like skiing or snowboarding, and it's people that are submitting these videos for this ad. The next question is role of music in advertising. I mean, this is super important, right? Because whatever music is playing in the background is going to set the mood for that ad. If it's going to be, you know, upbeat and happy and energetic. And I think a good example of this is the Mountain Dew commercials where they play like the hard rock, right? Because it's super upbeat and like get you going, and that's exactly what the drink is supposed to do because it's got caffeine, right? So I think that they use a really good. That's a good example of them using music effectively in their ad. And the last question is advertising execution techniques, and the one that sticks out to me is like a straight sell. So that'll be like a cleaning product, telling you exactly what it does, right? It shows you the product, and then it tells you exactly what it cleans, what it does, and how it cleans.